All right, here we go.
Do it.
Hey, welcome to the Hot Rod Lounge. My name is Travis Hall. This is episode 6. This is episode 6, and it's going to be a fun episode. We have a very special guest star today. But first, I want to mention, we are brought to you by Riverside Ford of Tulsa, and they want you to know that Riverside is by your side every time you buy a car. And with Scotch Media Productions, we've got everybody here, almost. We've got Mr. Randy Pierce, Earl Groves. Prince
Earl Groves.
Stop it.
Now, we can say Mr. Hahn, Steve McQueen Hahn's not with us today. Gail, his wife, her father passed away, and he had to take today off.
Right.
They're taking care of some family business. So our thoughts and prayers are with Steve McQueen Hahn, and he'll be back with us in 2 weeks.
Yes.
At the next podcast.
The next podcast.
Today, you're stuck with me and Prince Earl and Travis Hall.
And a special guest.
We haven't got to the guest yet, Earl.
We're getting there. But you said we had which means all of y'all.
All of y'all. And then, we hung out the other night.
Yes.
At the car show.
We did.
That was a good time.
Gasoline Alley.
Gasoline Alley. Did you have a good time, Earl?
Very cool.
There was some...
They had some good cars there.
They had some good cars,
cars,
but the crowd wasn't very talkative.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but it was a little disappointing that these car guys didn't really want to talk about their cars.
We went to Cars and Coffee, with Ethan.
Right.
On Sunday. And we took a mic and interviewed the guys, and they told us about their cars.
And they were totally excited about it the whole time.
These guys out here, I think, were hiding from their parole officer. They wouldn't even talk to Prince Earl.
Nope. But, in their defense, it was a Thursday night, and everybody had just got off work. Like, I've talked a lot today at work. Maybe that was the reason. I don't know.
It was funny. The one guy had that Chevy, and we knew it was a nice Chevy.
Yeah.
I mean, like a 52 or I'm not sure
55.
55 Chevy.
52, 55, same thing.
And, I'm looking at it, and he's looking at it. We went over there because we thought it was going to be a nice car. He goes over there, and we're like, hey, how are you doing? Whatever. Talk to him a little bit. Like, so what did you do to your, what have you done to your vehicle? I put an engine in it.
Oh, boy.
And that was it.
That was
Now,
it.
Earl,
And then we go over there, and we look at it, and I'm like,
the back tires under that 55 were this wide.
yeah.
So I promise you it was more than just an engine.
And you come around, and I'm like, I taking pictures of the actual engine, and I'm like, this is not just an engine.
Right.
I mean, you didn't just throw an engine in this.
And when he started it up and left, it went blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
Why wouldn't you want to show that?
I mean,
You know,
we're car guys. We talk a lot about cars
I know.
and everything else.
Some of them, it's a stress relief. They go home from work and get out work on the car, and no one's bothering them. They get to do their own thing in their garage, and they don't, okay, it's my deal. I'm not going to brag about it.
But if you're at a show or a cruise, maybe a cruise night's not the same as a show.
They're a little bit different.
Okay.
Not much.
I don't know. You know what the problem was? They were Chevy drivers. That was the problem.
Well, those two Chrysler guys, those cars were badass.
They were what? Whoa, hit the button.
AZZ.
Beep, Earl.
The Super B and the 70 Charger were bad.
I couldn't
bad
hit that
cars.
button fast.
Where's the beep
motors.
button?
Beep.
Beep. Hey,
We'll add beep in
can
post.
we? Earl needs that. Real TV's the live show's got that 5-10 second delay.
Yes.
That's what Earl needs.
Well, that'll be Caspian's job eventually.
Oh, Caspian. And speaking of stress relief, 6th show, 6th cake,
Yes. What was the cake today?
lemon meringue cheesecake. We'll post a picture of it because that's all that's left is the picture.
There's literally 3 slices left.
Yes, cake for breakfast. And so we have guests this morning.
We do have a guest this morning. And
Wait, Earl's going to put on my Coach Primes.
Oh, my gosh. They are.
I told you.
there he goes.
I gotta do
There he
this.
goes.
So everybody knows Coach. Do you know Coach Prime?
I do know Coach Prime.
Colorado
There he
Buffaloes.
goes. Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't know where the applause is at.
It's one of them buttons.
Hang on. There it is.
So
Nice.
these, Coach Prime wears these. First game, Colorado Buffaloes when he coached last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Blenders makes these glasses in conjunction with Coach Prime. Deion Sanders, who
Right.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
They put them on sale. Football season kicks off in August. Okay.
Ish, yeah.
At $75 a pair, they sold $2 million worth the first day they were open. And I didn't get them till December, and I ordered them in August.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, how do I get that deal?
You have to be
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Yeah,
You have
but
to be Deion Sanders.
I wore them at the car show the other night.
Uh-huh.
They almost matched the color of my car.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, close enough
Close enough.
for glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that yellow glasses would be that cool anyway. Those are the right yellow. Gold.
Look,
Yellow gold.
Mr. No Flash,
Hey,
Mr. Practicality, Ranger Driver.
we got a guest.
Yes, and I'm going to let Earl do the
Divert.
honors. Earl, now that you've taken the Coach Primes off, introduce our special guest, who she is, what she does, and then we'll ask some questions.
Well, Angela, thank you for coming this morning.
Absolutely. It's awfully early.
I have known this lovely lady for a long time, and she's gone and been a pinup girl forever, and then did a huge transformation 3 years ago, dear?
It's 7 years now.
7. Oh,
Yeah.
time flies.
It does.
So,
Oh, she's got a little echo there, T-Hole.
I know. Let me hang on a second.
all right.
Keep talking.
Yeah, just
She's
keep
kind
going.
of, I would say she's kind of the standard to which many pinup girls measure themselves, because she's won a lot of pinup girl contests, and rightfully so. So it's just really a pleasure to have you here this morning.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to do this podcast.
Now,
in
you
a
said
cave.
she's a standard. Does that mean she's a clutch car?
Could be.
Could be.
That's another joke, another
That's
time.
another joke.
Okay.
Okay,
As I was saying,
and we're back.
and we're back. As I was saying, known you forever, I think, and lots of pinup girl contests, local in Oklahoma City and other places you've gone. Won many of them. As I said, the girls go, uh-oh, Angela has entered the contest. Oh, my gosh, we really got to step it up. So let's get to Angela. I know we've got some good questions for her.
Yes, Travis wrote us questions.
He wrote us questions this morning.
Well, yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's start.
Well,
with-
and it was for
Hey, guys.
twofold. It was really for her and for us. But welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice
Thank
to have you here
I
with
am
us.
very happy to
Ooh,
be
he
here.
found. Woo!
I found the button.
All right. I like it.
That's our tens and tens of listeners that are here this morning, as we do this live on the showroom floor.
Hey, any opportunity I can wake up to applause,
Right.
I'm happy with that.
I'm in.
And
I'm
cake.
in.
Yeah.
And cake.
And cake. Delicious cake.
So he talked to you a little bit about, what you do, but so how'd you get into pinups?
Well,
And why? I mean, what's the story?
okay, I did not know my grandmother on my mother's side. She had passed away before I was born, but I had this amazing picture of her leaning against my grandfather's motorcycle, and she was just the epitome of a pinup girl naturally. She was from the 40s. She had the naturally curly hair and the long, beautiful legs.
Right.
Curly hair like you, Earl.
Yeah, right.
So that was something that just screamed pinup to me, and it drew me to enjoying pinup style. The other part of it was I grew up on a racetrack. I grew up in a dirt track all the time. My dad was a racer. My mom was a trophy girl.
Oh, wow.
So I say, if any parents are going to breed a
Right.
pinup girl, I think a racer and a trophy girl might be it, right?
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
I would think that would be perfect.
Absolutely.
And since pinup is so synonymous with being around some amazing cars,
Right.
it is a real joy to just be able to get out there and see the cars. And
Yeah. Earl and I were talking about that the other night over at the Gasoline Alley because I recently got, and this is different, but backup girls. I didn't know.
Yes.
I had no idea what that was either.
Bug.
And
I said bug, and he said, what?
Yeah.
Bug?
What's a bug?
Angela knows what a bug is.
I do, because they wear some fantastic boots, let me tell you.
So I was, it was intriguing that there is kind of a whole, I don't know, the pinup girl, the girl car thing. I mean, it just
Wherever
seems to
there's men, they're going to want women normally. So, yeah.
Bling bling.
A little eye
Bling.
candy.
And Barrett Jackson has even gone to that now because they have sold sticker girls. At the end of the auction,
Yes.
the car comes off the end of the block, and they have sold sticker girls that put the sold sticker on it and write the price on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you'll watch any of the Barrett Jackson auctions, Meekum hasn't got there yet, but
Right.
our buddies at Barrett Jackson are setting the standard.
Love it. Yes.
Do you know much about the history of pinups? I mean, other than
I do. Pinup actually started in 1895, believe it or not. A guy named Charles Gibson was an illustrator for Life magazine, and he drew the first pinup girl. They were called Gibson girls after his last name. And he actually drew one for every article of Life magazine for 20 years.
oh wow,
Yeah, so it was just his ideal American woman. He was an American, and it was in the 20s that women were kind of seeing a revolution. So it was something that he really highlighted in the magazine, and people really enjoyed. This was before pictures. You know,
Right,
they couldn't
right.
put a photograph of anyone in a magazine, so he was just drawing them. The Gibson girl wound up becoming a calendar, and the calendar girl was the mother of the pinup girl.
oh,
Yeah. So what happened is there was kind of lull. There was like from the 1900s to the 1940s. You have the illustrating going into pictures, and then the war hit, and some marketing genius for the U.S. Army decided to get one of those illustrations from Charles Gibson
Right.
and use it for the Join the Army posters.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, so and that's how that really led into so many things with wartime, because it was used as morale. The Army would literally hand out posters of pinup girls
Right.
for soldiers to keep in their helmets for morale. They would paint pictures of pinup girls on the bombs that they would drop,
Yep.
Oh, my
that's
gosh.
right.
right? 'Cause
Absolutely.
wow,
what's going to wreck your world more than a bomb?
right.
A hot one.
Now I know they used to put them on the
Nose art.
the nose
Nose
art.
art.
Yep.
Yeah,
Of
the
the old
nose of the
bombers,
planes, right.
fighter planes.
Right.
I'll have to go back and look at the picture. Does Mr. Latshaw's P-51?
No, it does not.
It does
No.
not. It just has a name on
A
the
lot
front.
of them were on the bigger bombers.
Yep, that's right.
And then that bomber actually became known as that when they would come into the airfield, like Diamond Lil, when
Yep.
that 24 Liberator would land. They didn't call it, X-ray Zebra 421. They called it
Right.
Diamond Lil
Diamond Lil.
approaching Diamond
Yes.
Lil, and she's a beautiful girl on a 24 Liberator.
Right.
Yep, and that's
Absolutely.
actually how you got the name of being called a bombshell. Us girls, when they're called a bombshell.
Oh, really?
Bombshell.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that at all.
I had no clue.
And what was cool was those were hand painted. They weren't
Right.
They weren't vinyl. They weren't peel and stick. These were hand painted by real artists
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody took the time to actually paint that
on the plane.
on the plane,
Right.
which meant you didn't get much use out of that plane for a few days. Yeah. It just sat there.
Right. And there's actually websites and Facebook pages that are pinup girls on World War II bombers.
Right.
Do you think that the classic pinup and the new pinup styles are different, or do you think it's the same? I mean, or are
yes,
we
I do
trying
think it's
to?
different.
Okay, I mean, like, are we trying to just replicate what was then now, or do you think it's evolved?
It's definitely evolved.
Right.
Today you'll see pinups of all varieties. You'll see them with tattoos, which you would not have seen a classic pinup with a tattoo.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, but in all, pinup really means liberation. It meant liberation when it began. It was risque for this drawing to even happen, but the response was so good, it kept going. Betty Page, one of the most famous pinup artists, it was risque for her to be one of the first women photographed with barely wearing much at the time, when just a few years before that you could literally be arrested for wearing a bikini. Aren't you guys glad that changed?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I am.
So I really feel like pinup is about liberation. It was liberation for me the first time I tried it. It was, pushing the boundaries and showing how much I love this culture and style.
Right.
So I feel like no matter how it evolves, it will still have that basic concept of liberation for the people who do it.
Right. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Let's ask the important question. You have it on here. You ready?
Yeah.
From a pinup standpoint, if money was no object, what would you drive? It's a car show, Travis. We got to ask about cars.
Can I, like any genre?
Makes
Like
no
anything.
difference. What would you drive?
1957 Thunderbird.
57 Thunderbird.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great choice.
It is a great choice.
So, you want me to go to question 4?
Yeah. You know,
Do you want to know why I like
Yeah,
the 57
why?
Thunderbird?
Oh,
Let me
yeah,
tell
that's
you.
it. Why?
Because every time I say 57 Thunderbird, someone comes back and says American Graffiti.
Right.
No,
that's right.
that's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It is
American
in there,
Graffiti.
yes, but it's not why. I think the 57 Thunderbird is a great representation of when you had the voluptuous body styles of the 40s and 50s, transitioning into the sleeker styles of the 60s. And I just think it's a good combination of both.
cool.
57 Thunderbird. That's a
And
great
it was
choice.
an American Graffiti.
It was an American
And
Graffiti.
I actually forgot all about that.
The
but that's true.
30.
Was that a 32
Yeah.
coupe or a 34 coupe
It was
that
a
was in that movie,
32
Earl?
coupe.
32.
32, it was
Look-
yellow.
See, look at me.
Look at you, clutch
I got one.
clutch car.
Clutch car. Angela, did you know what a clutch car is?
No.
See,
I-
look.
Look,
I mean, if you're saying it's a standard,
there you go.
then yes, I do. But if you're saying it's something more than that,
No,
I don't.
no.
That's what it
Okay.
is.
A couple podcasts ago,
Okay.
they were making fun of me because I didn't know what a clutch car was.
Okay.
And then
And
they
you could
did
get
it-
that confused. The reason she's saying that is there is a very
Here's
female,
lesson number 2.
female thing known as a clutch
Purse.
purse.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Unlike a clutch-powered car.
Yes. That's
Look-
true. But I've always heard it called a standard, not a clutch car. So
I know.
Everybody
Maybe
but
it's not.
Earl calls it a standard.
well, see, Earl is in the racing business. I think clutch car sounds very much more.
Earl
like a
is in the racing business. I have a car that has a Spanish transmission.
Oh yeah, what is
Yeah,
that?
it is a Manuel.
Manuel.
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Travis, get control here.
So, how do you approach embodying the visual? What'd you say, Travis? I don't have my glasses on.
What?
Vintage aesthetic. Where did you get that word?
I off the internet.
Did you let your AI computer write these questions?
I might have. I mean, I don't.
Thesaurus. Today.
Hey, look, they're good questions.
They are good questions for guys like you.
Well, you're supposed to read these before.
I
That
did.
way we can. You can just kind of put them in your own words.
So, aesthetics. That's hilarious. Embodying the vintage aesthetics of pinup while still expressing your own personality and style. This sounds like a job interview, Travis.
I'll make it more fun. I'll
Okay,
the
make it more
answers
fun.
Well, I think I have a natural pinup look because of my Native American heritage. I have the cheeks. The cheeks
Okay,
are important.
right.
And I have the bangs.
Okay.
But really, I don't go all out every day, for pinup style. Some people live it every
Right.
day. This is, they're doing the victory rolls and they're living, every day that's their life. That's not me. I just do it when I'm at events or competing. And also, you do get to choose a name. Normally, it's a different name than your real name.
Okay.
And yours is
Mine is Honey Mae Love.
nice.
Okay.
Okay, so you normally have a first, middle, and last name, and normally you have something funny. It's kind of kitschy. We're campy as well. So Honey Mae Love, or she may not. That's why I chose that. I like a good joke.
So,
That's actually good.
victory rolls, are those like victory laps? I know what those are. How about you, Earl?
Sort of.
They're
Sorta.
Not, they're not delicious biscuits. They
Oh, man.
There's a difficult hairstyle is what it is.
That's the same hairstyle Earl wears.
0.
How do you feel though? Like, so in today's society, there's lots of talk about body. There's lots of talk about empowerment and that kind of thing. How do you feel the pinup model in today's world kind of embodies positivity, the body positivity, that kind of thing, or does it, or is it?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, pinup today has evolved to every shape and size, any age that wants to compete. There are so many other beauty competitions that have very strict standards on body size and age.
Right.
So it definitely empowers women because you can do it. Like you're not going to be turned down for whatever reason. If you show passion for the culture, if you put effort into the style, and have fun with it,
Right.
then it definitely shows that kind of empowerment. It's such a different competition atmosphere than it would be in like a Miss America kind of situation. It's competitive, but it's like golf. It's competitive, but you're still rooting for everyone.
That's
Okay.
true.
Right.
At the competitions, the girls are all about their competitors.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Very supportive of each other.
we appreciate the effort that goes into making a dress or coming up with a crazy idea for a theme, or we all appreciate what we're trying to do.
Right. I can imagine. I mean, the amount of work that goes into it has to be.
No, it can be a lot. Yeah, absolutely. A lot. I spent so many hours rhinestoning flames on shoes for the Daryl Starbird show.
Wow.
I couldn't believe I'd never done it before, and I will never do it again. But they did look amazing.
That's that car show that goes unnamed.
That's right.
Oh, I am sorry.
It's an inside joke.
The Barrel Barbird.
Yes, that's it. When you mention that car show, if Steve was here, he gets a nervous tick.
Oh. It's not the first time I've had that effect on men.
Got another question for you, and this is a very good one. I know you've got a good answer for it. So, could you discuss some challenges and misconceptions you've encountered as a pinup model, and how have you gotten through them, versus maybe the novice person that's watching a pinup girl contest at a car show, or the Nitro Nationals out here at Tulsa Raceway Park, where they think, well, she's just all dressed up, to show her sex appeal and all that stuff. Kind of delve into that, would you?
Well, I've never thought anyone said that, but thanks, Earl.
Thanks, Earl.
Well, remember, I'm sitting out in the audience sometimes as
okay.
a judge. It's like, oh, yeah, which is wrong. It's not why you're there.
Yeah. I will tell you this. As you mentioned earlier, I did have a huge body transformation 7 years ago. I was 300 pounds. I was a heavy girl, and I was also very ill. So I got healthy, and it changed my life, and that's what made me start to go out and try all of these things that I never thought I would be able to try because of my health. I have found, living almost like two separate lives in one lifetime, that people are very judgmental. No matter what I do, they are judgmental. For a couple of years, I really tried to be like, hey, everybody, I'm a good person. All you gotta do is get to know me. You would understand that, but you can't. You can't do that. And if you don't worry about what people say, because people are always going to say something, and just live whatever makes you happy and doesn't hurt anyone. You're a good person on the inside, you're doing good things, then don't listen to what other people say, because they're always going to say something.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter how good or bad, they're going to say something.
Exactly.
And I would add to that, look at the girls that you've met and they each event they get a little better. They maybe they're going to make their own long pencil skirt, with the flames on it or the bling bling on it. But you meet so many neat people, and it's really to me it's a self-esteem and a self-confidence builder, because it's all about. I came, I competed, I looked good, lots of rounds of questions, different outfits. Some pinup contests have you change 2, sometimes 3 times into a different outfit. And then you come back out and you answer questions, and there's cheering, and you get to see some really cool stuff. But as Angela said, where you hand make the stuff,
Yes.
hours of putting that stuff together. It's a lot of it's based on 30s, 40s, 50s attire.
Yes.
You can't buy that stuff. You got to make it.
Exactly. You know, it's just like when you go out to a car show to look at the beautiful cars and all of the work that these people have put into keeping it pristine. Well, that's what we're doing too. You're looking at us, and we put all that work in, and we're dressed as the era of the cars that you're normally looking at. So it's really just a whole concept of, you know, era-themed entertainment.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give an individual that would like to start doing this?
Do it immediately.
Do it immediately.
Absolutely. There's no reason not to. Because whether you win or lose, you're going to meet some cool people. And like Earl said, like I have competed with some of these girls for many years now, ever since I started. And it has been very fun to see all of us, how we've evolved, how we've changed our style. So definitely look for upcoming pinup shows and just enter one. And you'll find that
Should they go
it's
to
gonna
one
be fun.
first?
If they want to. I mean,
Or,
it just depends on, I never went to one before I entered one.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I actually
that's
did
fair.
it for a friend who was, it was just kind of like happenstance. It was
Right.
someone putting on a pinup event, and I used to put on events, and I noticed like a week before the event, he was still putting out looking for pinups. So I said, hey, buddy, you need me to come and just like fill a spot for you? And
Right.
he's like, would you? And so that's how I got started.
Of course, you guys probably know, Earl knows, Angela's a big Halloween person.
Yes.
So
I love costumes, period.
Right.
I'd love to dress up.
So-
things.
you probably had something pretty close
No,
to
I didn't, because
Oh.
it was. Now I would normally say yes. Like if you have a friend to call who may have a monkey outfit, I'm going to be that person. Yes.
Right.
But
We could borrow that for Earl.
Right. Hey, that's a great podcast.
Moving right along here, Travis.
Moving right along, Travis.
But like Earl said earlier, sometimes they have themes. Sometimes you could just wear what you want to wear. Sometimes they have themes. Sometimes they have multiple changes.
Right.
This one was very specific. You had to either have an American themed swimsuit or a tropical themed swimsuit. And I didn't have either one of those things. So that were pinup style anyway. Did I say swimsuit and he just fell over?
Right, yeah.
He just
Oh,
fell over.
okay.
You said swimsuit, and Jeff fell off his chair over there. Hey, don't forget, folks, we are in the middle of the showroom
Yes.
floor at
So
Riverside
you might
floor,
hear
so-
things in the background.
Yeah, there's a little background noise.
So what's your, all of that, what is your favorite part about pinup? I mean, about doing it, going to shows. I mean, what do you like most about it?
Well,
I know you sort of kind of
gosh,
talked about it.
It is hard. It's hard to pick.
Right.
You know, being around the cars and the car people
Right.
is something I love very much. My dad is no longer here, and so it makes me feel close to my dad.
Oh,
Cool.
well, that's very sweet.
Cool. Cool.
Very nice. And before we let you go, I need to know about the purse.
Okay.
So you might have been seeing it sitting here.
Yeah,
Yes.
TJ, we need to make sure you get a shot of that for the for the video.
What is that?
Well, it is, I call it my car show purse. I
Okay.
take it to every car show or competition I'm in. And it is made from a license plate,
And hubcap.
2 hubcap centers,
Wow.
and a sarsaparilla cap.
Sarsaparilla.
That's a soda.
It's like root beer,
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah, I know.
I see it.
I just like the name.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, she said that these pinup sketches started in 1895.
Yeah.
Earl has that magazine.
Still paying the subscription.
All right, T. Hall, I think it's time, isn't it? Time for us
Yeah.
to take a break.
We're going to take a break for a second. Angela,
Miss Angela, thank you. We appreciate you coming out this
Thank you for
early
coming
and
out.
I'm happy to be
doing
here.
the podcast and eating cake and
The cake was delicious.
Putting up with Earl.
I would come back for
One
more
last
cake.
question. Do you have is there an event coming up?
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
What's
I'm
your
sorry.
next appearance?
I do not have anything scheduled right now.
You just were at one.
I was just at one. I'm going to be doing some traveling soon. So you can follow my Facebook page, which is Honey Mae Love, and that is M-A-Y, Honey, M-A-Y, Love, on Facebook. And I will post anything that I will be at in the future. Hopefully, we've got a lot of things coming up this summer. Summertime is a great time for pinup.
Right.
And we can share some stuff on ours.
Absolutely. We can
Sure.
look that up.
Yep.
TJ's excellent at looking that stuff up and and getting it out there. So I tell you what, Travis Hall, it is time for a break. Why don't you take us out of here?
All righty. Give us a few minutes. And Angela, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Great being here.
Click.
Boom.
Oh, my gosh.
Ba-dum.
Now I'm going to have the hiccups.
Nobody. We need a live audience. Nobody'd believe this.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
You ready?
Are we on?
Are we on? Are we recording?
Are you ready?
Are we recording?
We are recording.
We are.
And we are back.
It's a really big shoe.
That was, I don't know. I found that to be interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, generally all we talk about is cars.
Right. But I mean, that's car related. For sure, car related.
Very much car related.
I mean,
you know, like she said, if you go back to World War II, the pinup was on everything.
right.
Everything.
I mean, look, when we go to the Air and Space Museum, that one airplane that you mentioned was here, Earl.
That
The B-24?
Diamond Lil.
Yes.
Just recently came. Yeah.
That's if you go in my office, that's the picture.
Okay.
That's the picture they took of Diamond Lil over downtown Tulsa
Yeah.
that we got at the Air and Space Museum.
No, I found it. I'm glad we did it because I really didn't understand the history behind it.
No, I didn't either. So that was, whoever thought of that one, that was a great deal right there.
Thank you.
So now.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to make a little change.
We are making a little change.
We're going from Pinup Angela to the dad. We are missing Steve McQueen Hahn today, so Dad came down just for cake, and I told him he had to no work, no eat, man. So
Welcome, Dad.
Mr. Gary Pierce, my dad, is setting in for Mr. Steve McQueen Hahn for this show.
I should have got up and left a little bit earlier. So, y'all's audience probably just went down the drain. You know?
He does the morning Sunday show with me and Hoot Owl some days.
Nice.
So the only reason I put my sunglasses on is because Travis told me I couldn't wear them. So I put my Coach Primes on just so everybody could see. Hey, and I want to thank Marvin. Marvin listens to us.
Yes.
Dropped
Okay.
off this really cool Shelby light-up statue here.
Right. It is cool.
It is pretty cool. I hope they can see that on the video.
We got a thumbs up.
We got a thumbs up because it changes colors. There's lots of buttons on it. Oh, I see. So we'll have to play with all the buttons and figure out what it does. You know, the first part of the show we had a script.
Yeah.
Now you're just dependent on no script.
Yeah, we had no idea what we're going to talk about.
But we can talk about this. We hung out in Sapulpa
Yes. Well, we talked about it a little
Thursday
bit, but
night and had a great time.
Yeah.
At the first.
And we were at Cars and Coffee. I don't know. Did we talk about Cars and Coffee?
No, we were at Cars and Coffee Sunday.
Right.
And hung out with Ethan.
Right.
And folks, that Cars and Coffee show is a pretty cool deal. You ever been out there, Earl?
Oh, many times. He's barking at me because I haven't been there on the first Sunday of every month. He does the Cars and Coffee.
And I'm telling you, he has a ride variety. How's that, TJ?
A ride variety.
He has a ride variety instead of a wide variety of cars that come out there. I mean, we walked by Lotuses,
Yeah.
Lambos,
Well, lowriders,
lowriders.
Street rods.
street rods.
My least favorite, that goofy-looking pickup,
Which one?
the Tesla, whatever it's called.
Oh, my God.
The Tesla moon buggy. That's what they ought to call it. I know TJ's fixing to throw something at me over here, but that thing's awful. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, obviously it's a
The
preference, but
the the best part of that truck is I still remember the unveiling because I watched it with Elon Musk, and he said the windows are shatterproof, and he threw a rock at it, and the rock went through the window.
Yeah,
So what did he do?
I think a few people were fired for that.
He says, oh, that's just a one-off. So he threw the rock at the rear window, and it shattered too.
Oh gosh.
So that is just a funny looking. I don't know that I'll ever own one of those.
It's again preference.
Preference, taste,
It's
but there was
it is
lots of stuff there.
Certainly not a Ford F-150.
No.
I mean, for sure.
It will not be the best-selling truck in America for 48 years, I assure you.
No, but
Like the F-150. Earl's getting text over here.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the car show that are coming up on Facebook. You know, I mean, it's a cool place to look. You know, you want to go look at cars, you want to enter your cars.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
For the-
April and May and part of June, you know, probably down toward the end of June, is a great time to show your car at car shows. Or the difference in car shows nowadays is some are still drive in,
Right.
park and sit there. That's for some folks, you know, and some are judged, some are not. But Ethan's event at Cars and Coffee, it's a come and go. You come in, stay an hour and a half, and you can just drive off.
Yeah.
Right.
No trophies,
Drive in and out.
drive in and out. And that's kind of a more modern way. Folks have lots of stuff to do on the weekend instead of sitting there all day. So your choice.
And it's in Uncle Julio's parking lot, so if you need some tacos, that's a really good place to eat.
have you been there yet?
I've not been to the Uncle Julio's here. We used to eat at the one in Nashville all the time.
Right.
But it's
I want to go. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, it's I call it, not Tex-Mex. I
Yeah.
call it bougie Mexican food.
Bougie Mexican.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right.
it is.
All right.
But it's really good. So, hey, let's start off. We got the dad here today.
Yeah. What
You know.
are we going to ask your dad?
You are no longer the old man on the podium.
Thank you.
So,
So, Dad,
in the years of driving, what's the coolest car you've ever owned?
that's a good question.
Oh, goodness. You may not want to ask me that. I'm sitting here in a Ford dealership. you
It's
know.
okay. We've already talked about a Tesla, so it's all good. Hey, Ricky Bennett, your cake is in my fridge. Yeah, we were talking about your mom's cake. It's in the fridge. So we have a picture, or I have a picture, in an album that Mom gave me. It's you and me. I'm about so big, and you're standing in front of a red 64 Impala is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then you had the old 50 or 60-something Chevy you used to drive for a work car. We called
That's
it
right,
We
yeah.
called it Old Putt because nothing worked. But coolest car.
Hey, I don't know. Probably the coolest car, I don't guess it was mine, and we bought it for you, was that O's Cutlass
Yes.
Supreme with the T-tops on it and so forth.
That-
I always remember that car.
That was a cool car.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what he did to me, Earl. Almost 16, first car. I'm thinking Trans Am. He brings me a 1979 white Ford Pinto.
Hey, when are they going to bring Ford going to bring the Pinto back?
They're remaking everything else. The great thing about a Pinto is you could have a fire sale.
Yeah, your
You
mom
get that, Travis?
before you
Yeah,
got a
yes,
car.
I did.
Before we bought your car, your mom would say, he needs one that he can't burn rubber off the tires. So
Right.
that's how all that came about.
That's a
all right?
Ford Pinto, I assure you. It was a 4-cylinder, carbureted, stick shift. If you turn the air conditioner on, you could time the quarter mile with a calendar. Okay?
Tell you what, if you ever had to change the heater coil out on a Ford Pinto now, that is something else.
That is
all right?
something else. We did that. But that was not the first car I thought.
You didn't think he was going to say that?
I didn't think that's what he was going to bring me.
Right.
So he asked me one day, and it's no secret. They furnished me a vehicle to drive, and I generally drive a Mustang.
Right.
Okay. He asked me one day, he said, "Son, you're getting old. Why do you drive these little cars you got to crawl down in?" And I said, "Because when I was supposed to drive them, you wouldn't buy me one. So I have to drive them now."
Making up for lost time.
Making up for lost time. But he does drive a very nice, right now, Ford F-150.
Join the Ford family.
Well, yeah, I don't remember what year it was. You know, I worked a lot of for oil and gas companies,
Okay.
and back in those days, we drove a lot of GM products. And I don't remember what year it was, but the company I was working for went to buying Fords, and the Ford outperformed all the other vehicles, so that I made a switch in my life, started driving Fords.
Oh, wow.
And,
Yeah, but even when you drove a Chevy truck, Mom always drove an LTD. You had Old Green that was an LTD.
Well, yeah, but that was one reason we switched to the
okay.
Ford, was because the Ford had improved their vehicles so back then, you know. And you could take, of course, we had to run through a lot of places, you know, where it was muddy and so forth, and our Chevrolets would get stuck and the Fords would come pull them out. So that changed me right quick, all right?
Still true today.
Hey, like that story, Earl. Because Mom had I think it was the last new LTD you bought. It was, I don't know what color they called it. It looked like a brownie. It was a brown LTD thing. I guarantee it was as long as an F-250 3/4 ton pickup is right now. It had to be, what, 73, 74?
Probably, I don't remember now.
I just remember she had it a few days and hooked the bumper in the parking lot of the Ben Franklin and bent it down. Ben Franklin, Travis, we'll tell you what that is later.
Okay.
Okay. So, that's cool. We're glad to have Dad with us today.
Yeah,
Earl,
no, I appreciate it.
we did have a good time in Sapulpa
Yeah.
at the car show.
What's coming up? Earl, I know. Do you want to?
You sent us a drag race thing the other day that's coming up soon.
Right. Yeah, it's in May. It's a kind of I would say, premier. It is a premier event at Tulsa Raceway Park. It's called T-Town Throwdown in T-Town. It's a huge drag race.
So
They come from all over to come to this thing. It's in the middle of May. I don't have the flyer right in front
May 10th through the 11th.
11th.
is that the one that we might be able to shoot from?
We can certainly do that. I'll probably see Todd Martin today or Keith Haney, the other track owner. I'll probably see him today out there. And I'll ask if we can do a live podcast out there. Could be a little bit noisy. That'll be a challenge for you tech guys and Travis. But, you'll see a lot of really cool stuff. Extremely fast cars.
I think
These cars are going,
they have
360s, 370s in eighth mile at 210, 220 mile an hour in the eighth mile.
hey,
And then there's some quarter mile races there, too.
isn't there the building behind the start line, doesn't it have a rooftop patio on it?
It does. We could do that up on the second floor, which would be that's a great idea because we could look down the
You could look right down the drag
down
strip.
the drag strip. If you can manage the noise,
We'll
we
figure
can
it
manage
out.
the noise.
that'd be a
We'll-
good challenge
we'll
for you
Here, you
producer
ready?
guys.
Let's test it. Can you manage that?
Hey, too bad we don't have that Pinto. You could enter
can
in
race.
the drag race.
So we're gonna tell everybody we're gonna be there.
We're going to be there.
All right.
We'll be there.
Is that a Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What's it on?
Correct. Actually I think testing begins on Thursday,
Yeah.
and Friday and Saturday, qualifying and then eliminations on Saturday.
Look, we're not into practice, Earl.
Yeah.
We're just into play. Okay,
So
so
we can figure out like Friday night or something. We'll get the
May-
details.
Friday night would be great.
We'll
May
get the,
May
we'll get,
10th is a Friday. The 11th is a Saturday.
we'll get the details and we'll put it all
We'll
together.
put it all together. But
Put it on our
if we
Facebook
could set up
page.
on that rooftop, that'd just be. You got Wi-Fi out there, don't you?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Little
go-
Wi-Fi.
We can get down and talk to a couple of the guys that are racing and
Oh yeah.
And then Ethan said at some point out there he's having a burnout competition at the drag strip. What do you know about that?
Yeah, Ethan does, I think, 4 events at Tulsa Raceway Park. So he does cars and coffee, and then this coming up weekend, not this weekend, but the next one, it's cars, coffee, and drags.
Right.
So it's the same thing, $15 for a tech card, and use all makes and models. And he does a burnout contest while at the drag races, but you can run your buddies, run your mom and dad's car, whatever you want to do. It's a very good fun thing to do.
You mean
He just expanded his cars and coffee.
Dad can race his 15 F-150?
He can.
Absolutely.
TJ, you can bring your Kia.
Kia, we can race the Ranger.
I've seen everything out there. It's really a fun event.
So we got this coming up.
Right.
NASCAR's running in Texas tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
They're at Texas Motor Speedway.
Which will be today.
Today's
For the
Saturday.
people
Oh,
who-
today's Saturday.
Which would be people listening.
Yes, but by the time you put this on the air,
They'll be racing.
they'll be racing. I forget we're not live, you know. But so NASCAR's running tomorrow.
Right.
We have talked about the new Mustang GTD,
Right. With that we've got a whole.
but the biggest thing,
Steve.
we're going to do a show on that car.
Right. Steve wants to kind of get involved with that,
And-
so we'll let him.
But we'll just, I'm
the
going to
reins.
unveil that Riverside Ford has signed up to be a GTD delivery point.
Right. Leave that as a teaser.
Teaser. What's a GTD? There's some pretty cool Facebook, YouTubies out there you
Right.
can find on that car.
Yeah.
So, and then probably next month we'll be back out at the Gasoline Alley.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do Cord. I'm trying to get out to Cord too.
Cord, Duesenberg, Auburn. Yeah, Earl told
I'm
us
putting
about
it out
that.
here on the podcast so that we can let them know we're talking about them, so that we can go out there and maybe.
Well,
and
I bet they'll let us. There's some cool spots out there we can set up.
so
Travis, or not Travis, little Travis, TJ,
yeah,
is
he's
giving
giving
me
us the
this.
wrap up symbol.
He seems to think we follow instructions.
He's trying to avoid doing lots of cut
Just
to make it within our 60
man,
minutes.
just send it, man. Just let it go.
A lot of times that's what we end up doing.
There's no right or wrong,
No.
or we just got to beep Earl every now and then.
Yeah, but we're getting to that point.
Yep. So, folks, we're going to get out of here. We've had a great podcast today. We want to thank Miss Angela for coming out.
Yes.
The dad for hanging out with us. And T. Hall for you and Earl and TJ and the crew and everybody that's here. I'm
And
Randy
Riverside
Pierce.
Ford.
And Riverside Ford. And I'll see you down the road.